Hola a todos, buenas noches. Hoy es martes 12 de marzo de 2024. Son las 7 de la noche en Colombia. Soy Mike y quiero darles la bienvenida al día 6 de nuestro curso de español Charlemos Pues. Un curso enfocado en conversación, en español hablado. Hi everybody, good evening. Today is Tuesday, March the 12th. 2024. It is 7 p.m. in Colombia because right now there's a daylight savings time. I think that's the name. Yeah, daylight savings time. So right now in the United States, in some places it's 8 p.m. Anyhow, it is 7 p.m. in Colombia. I'm Mike, and I bid you welcome to day 6 in our basic Spanish course, Charlemos Pues, let's talk. This is a course that we are focusing on conversational Spanish, basic conversational Spanish. And last week, we were talking about the hour. I wanna thank each and every one of you, the ones who are watching this right now with us, who are here with us. Thank you very much for being here during this live class. And also, I want to thank the people who watch this video later because this is part of a playlist. The name is Charlemos Pues. It's the classes are there in that playlist. And also, I want to thank the members of the channel, people who are members of this channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. We really appreciate that. So having said that, let's start today. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go, whoops, sorry for that. We're going to go with second day of the time, asking and telling about the time, right? That was what we were doing last class. Last class we were studying or checking the numbers, the basic numbers that we are going to need in order to tell the time. We learned different ways of asking for the time because in Spanish we can say that in different ways, and most likely depending on the countries you're going to visit, maybe there's going to be some slang. Let's say here in Colombia we were talking about asking the time last class, right? And we were saying that we can say qué hora es, qué horas son, qué horas tiene, qué horas tenés, tiene horas. That's another way that you can be asked for the time here in Colombia. Tiene horas, tiene horas. It's like, do you have hours? Doesn't make any sense when you translate that to English, but nonetheless is the way we do. So what we're going to do tonight, last class we learned how to tell the time o'clock, right? Let's say right now it's 7 p.m. Son las 7. Son las 7 en punto. Son las 7 de la noche. 7 p.m., 7 o'clock, it's 7. Son las 7. That's the way we were learning last class. And tonight we're going to go further. I do have a video in which I explain this. Oh, Ozan Kabak, yes, he played center back. Hola, ¿cómo están? Espero que muy bien, gracias por estar aquí. Espero que esto les sirva. So we're going to practice tonight. Let's see if we can go with the hour and a half and a quarter past and a quarter to. Hopefully, let's see. So time 30, right? In English, we can say it's 7:30, right? We can say that, or we can say it's 30. I mean, it's 10. Sorry. 10:30, 10:30. So I can say the hour 30 or 30 the hour, right? That's the way we say that in English. In Spanish, we can say that in different ways. We can say, remember, if it's one, we say es la una. Remember that? Es la una. It is one. It's one. Es la una. Some people may say son la una or son las una. People are going to tell that. Are going to say that because Remember, native speakers make mistakes. We as native speakers make a lot of mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes, and that's not bad, but that's basically the way we talk. So in Spanish we can say es la or son las, accordingly to whatever we learn last class, hour and then 30. That's one way. So we can say es la 1:30. It's 1:30. Es la 1:30. Son las 2:30. It's 2:30. Son las 2:30. It's 3:30. Son las 3:30. It's 4:30. Son las 4:30. So, it's 5:30. It's 5:30. Son las 5:30. No sé, Osan, I don't live in Medellín. Yo no vivo en Medellín, pero en Colombia es la misma hora en toda parte. Aquí son las 7:06 minutos, justo en este momento que te estoy hablando. Nosotros tenemos 6 segundos de diferencia en la transmisión. Right now, as we are talking, it is 7:06 p.m. in Colombia. Medellín, Cali, anywhere, right? It's the same. I know that I think it's Eastern time. It's right now in the United States is 8 p.m. Spain would be 1 a.m. and so and so. Anyhow, how would you say it's 11:30? It's 11:30. It's 11:30. Son las 11:30. So that's the way we can say that, right? That's one way of saying that in Spanish. Another way of saying is, instead of saying 30, we say y 30, like saying and 30, right? In English, we don't say it's 7:30. We don't say that. We just say it's 7:30. But in Spanish, we can say it's 7:30. So that would be son las 3:30. We can say that. You can hear that in Spanish. Es la 1:30. Son las 2:30. Son las 3:30. Son las 4:30. Son las 5:30. Son las 6:30. It's 7:30. It's 7:30. Son las 7:30. It's 8:30. Son las 8:30. It's 9:30. Son las 9:30. It's 10:30. Son las 10:30. It's 11:30. Son las 11:30. And so and so and so. So we have hora 30, hora y 30. And we can say y media. So we have 3 different ways of saying time and a half or half past, right? Or time 30. We have 3 different ways. Hora 30, hora y 30, hora y media. We have the 3 different ways. So if I say 2:30, it's 2:30. I can say son las 2:30, son las 2:30, son las 2:30. The 3 different ways. Having said this, let's check this real quick here. We have time 30 or half past the time. We have es la, this is for 1, this is for 1, and this is for 1. Remember, because 1 is just one number. And remember, although 1 is uno, when we talk about the time, because it's la hora, it's female, and we say la una, la una. Some people may say son la una. Remember, that people will say that. It's not that it's not, well, it is not correct, but that happens a lot. That happens so much. So So we can say, es la hora 30, son las hora 30. One way. Es la hora y 30, son las hora y 30. Second way. Es la hora y media, son las hora y media. So, for one, we don't say, we just say, es la 1:30. Es la 1:30. Es la 1:30. For 9, son las 9:30. Son las 9:30. Son las 9:30. And so, and so, and so. We're going to do that with time 30 or half past the time. Now, in English, we can also say it's time 45. It's time 15. It's time 15, right? We can say that. Time 15, or it's time. It's a quarter past 15. It's a quarter past time, right? Let me see, because I think I didn't write that here. Oh, shoot. I didn't write that here. Anyhow, so in Spanish, for time 15 or a quarter past the time, right? For that, in Spanish, we say es la, son las. It depends on if it's one or any other times. 15. So, es la o 1:15. It's 1:15. Es la 1:15. Son las 2:15. Son las 4:15. If you say that, we're going to understand. But it's not, so it is not very natural for us. It is not natural. It's more natural if we say es la 1:15. So, unlike the time and a half when we say hora 30, hora y 30 in Spanish, when it comes to 15, 15, it's better if we say y 15. So we're going to say es la 1:15. Give me a second. Es la 1:15. If somebody says es la 1:15, we understand, but it doesn't happen too often. We understand. Hora 15. But it's way better if we just say es la 1:15. Son las 2:15. Son las 3:15. And, give me just a second. 15. Shoot. Sorry. Give me a second. 15. I didn't have this ready here. And we can also say y cuarto. Es la 1:15. Son las 2:15. Son las 3:15. Son las 4:15. We can say that too. We are going to hear that a lot. Y cuarto. That's so natural. Y cuarto. Cuarto, when we say y cuarto, that would be like a quarter, right? We don't have a literal translation for a quarter past 1. In English, we can say a quarter past 1, to say 1:15, right? But we don't say un cuarto pasada la 1. We don't say that. Un cuarto pasada la 1. We don't say that. We just say la 1:15. So we have hora 15, which is is kind of a natural, and it's not too often that we hear or say that. We have es la hora y 15, which is very usual for us. Hey, Faith, how are you? Thank you for being here. Hola, Faith. Gracias por estar aquí. So we have the y 15 and we have y cuarto. And that's the way we tell the time 15 or a quarter past the time. Having said that, let me check this real quick here so I can show you. Here. Okay. So, remember, we can say es la 1:15, son las 3:15, son las 4:15. We can say that, but you're not going to say that. I'm going to show you that because you may find once or twice, maybe, not very often, but you may find somebody who's going to say that, and that's usual. Remember, native speakers, any language, we make mistakes because we do not learn the language. We study the language later at school or maybe in college, but we learn the language by acquisition, and because of that we learn a lot of mistakes, and we don't talk our language perfectly. So we speak perfectly, I'm sorry, we don't speak our language perfectly. Okay, so way better these two. Es la 1:15, son las 1:15. Es la 1:15, son las 1:15. So for 1:15, es la 1:15, or es la 1:15, any of those. 2:15, son las 2:15. Son las 2:15. 3:15, son las 3:15. Son las 3:15. 4:15, son las 4:15. Son las 4:15. 5:15. I wish I could hear you right now. I wish I could hear you and we could have this class like an interactive class, but we can't. So, son las 5:15 or son las 5:15. It's 5:15 or it's 5:15. I mean 6. It's 6:15 because you already said 5. It's 6:15. Son las 6:15. Son las 6:15. It's 7:15. Son las 7:15. Son las 7:15, which is basically almost 7:15 right now. It's 7:17, but anyhow. It's 8:15. It's 8:15. Son las 8:15. Son las 8:15. It's 9:15. Son las 9:15. Son las 9:15. It's 10:15 or it's 10:15. Son las 10:15. Son las 10:15. And so, and so, and so. So we have time o'clock, time AM, time PM, time and a half, time 30, half past time, and time 15 or 15:15 time. And we also have time 45, right? Or 1/4 time plus 1. Why time plus 1? Because if I'm saying it's time 45, it's 4:45. That means it's 4:45. I mean to 5, which is time plus 1. 4 would be the hour. 4 plus 1 would be 5. 4:45. 4:45, 4:45. Right? That makes sense. That's the way we say that in English, right? So when we have time 45 or 1/4 time plus 1, we say, again, es la for una, son las for 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 45. 45. Once again, here we can say hora 45. This is not very often that this happens. It happens, not that very often. It's not too natural to say something. but it may happen. The way we do is hora y 45. 45 is 45 in Spanish. 45, 45. It's 1:45. Es la 1:45. It's 2:45. Son las 2:45. It's 7:45. Son las 7:45. So that's one way to say that. But we can say a quarter to time plus 1. And we do have a way of saying this. We say falta un cuarto para la time plus 1, or falta un cuarto para las time plus 1. Falta un cuarto. A quarter to. Falta un cuarto. Falta un cuarto. That's the way we say. And sometimes they say hora menos cuarto. Sometimes people say that. Hora menos cuarto, which is falta un cuarto. It's the same. Hora menos cuarto. Sometimes people say that. That's something that is not very common, or at least I don't notice that much here in Colombia, or at least in the region I live. But it happens. I've heard this menos cuarto a lot to people in Spain, people in different places. Some people here say that, but here is either hora y 45 o falta un cuarto para las. So we have hora y 45, falta un cuarto, or es la hora menos cuarto. We have that. So we can say if it's 3:45 or a quarter to 4, we can say son las 3:45, falta un cuarto para las 4, son las 4 menos cuarto. We have the three different ways. And some people may say son las 3:45. Some people may say that. Try not you, please try not say that. But be aware that that happens so you can understand. It's better we say E, right? So, having said that, let's check this in a second. Let's check this. So, we have es la hora 45, which is something that some people may say, but please don't do that. You don't do that. But you can use any of this. So, if it's 1, es la 1:45. Falta un cuarto. Bueno, en this case, falta un cuarto para las 2. If it's 1:45, right? Falta un cuarto para las 2. A quarter to 2. Or son las 2 menos cuarto. Son las 2 menos cuarto. 2:45. Son las 2:45. Falta un cuarto para las 3. Son las 3 menos cuarto. 3:45. Son las 3:45. Falta un cuarto para las 4. Son las 4 menos cuarto. 4:45. Son las 4:45. Falta un cuarto para las 5. Son las 5 menos cuarto. 5:45. Son las 5:45. Falta un cuarto para las 6. Son las 6 menos cuarto. 6:45. 6:45 would be son las 6:45. Falta un cuarto para las 7. Son las 7 menos cuarto. 7:45. Son las 7:45. Falta un cuarto para las 8. Son las 8 menos cuarto. 8:45. Son las 8:45. Falta un cuarto para las 9. Son las 9:45, menos 4. 12:45. Son las 12:45. Falta un cuarto para la 1. Es la 1 menos cuarto. So, with this, we have learned basic ways of telling the time. You know how to ask the time in Spanish. And now, how you can tell the time. If it's time o'clock, AM, PM, time, half past the time 30, a quarter past the time 15, a quarter to time 45, right? We have that. So what do you have to do right now? Next class, we're going to finish with 10, 20, and 25, hopefully. Hopefully we can do that next class. 10, 20, 25, and then 50, 40, and 35. Hopefully. So that's it for tonight. Remember, this is a matter of practice. If you have questions, we have a 6-second delay in this broadcasting. So I'm closing, I'm wrapping up. And in the meantime, if you have questions, please think about that. The questions about what we did tonight. You can do that through the chat. That's the chat for. That's the chat for. That's what the chat's for. I'm sorry. I was thinking I'm saying something weird here. That's what the chat's for. That's what the chat's for. Okay. That's what the chat's for. So take everything that we have learned during these 6 days. Practice that every day. Now you know how to tell different times. Practice that during the day. Try and practice as much as you can. Please, this is the only way. You need exposure to the language. You need a lot of exposure. We need that. It's like when we're learning when we're kids. We're exposed and surrounded by the language the whole time. So that's what you need to do in order to improve your skills, your speaking skills. You want to improve your grammar skills? Yeah, I do have videos in which I explain some conjugations, regular, irregular verbs, pronouns and stuff. And I'll make some more videos in a near future. But in the meantime, let's try and speak. We can. You can. But it's a matter of practice. You need to expose yourself to the language. So, if you like the video, remember, please share with your friends, group, social media. Like the video, of course. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click the bell button in order to get notifications because we're posting videos on a weekly basis. You can also support the channel. That's gonna help us grow, and it's gonna be useful for you because you can use the chat for that. I don't see any questions. It's either good or bad. I hope it's good, meaning that you have understood, and it has been an easy and understandable class. So hopefully that's what happened. I really appreciate you for taking time for being here with us, with me tonight here during this class. I hope this is going to be useful for you in your learning process, in your process of improving your skills, hopefully. And I hope to see you in the next class. So, gracias por estar aquí. Un abrazo para todos. Veo que no hay preguntas. Nos veremos en una próxima clase. Que descansen. Bye.